When you're selling your home, there are a few big moments, right? But let's be honest, nothing feels quite as stressful as the buyer's home inspection. So we're going to walk through exactly what happens so you can feel confident and keep your sale moving forward. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first, let's just get this out of the way. The inspection is not a test. You can't pass or fail. Seriously, as it says right here, even a brand new, straight from the builder home is going to have things on the report. So don't think of it as a report card. It's more like a super detailed snapshot of the house on one specific day. It's totally 100% normal.
So why do they even do this? Well, the buyer hires a licensed professional to do a really thorough visual checkup of all the home's big systems. You know, the plumbing, electrical, the HVAC, roof, foundation, the whole shebang. It's just their way of doing their homework, making sure they really understand what they're buying. It's a standard and, frankly, a necessary step in pretty much every single sale.
And just a heads up, it's probably not going to be just one person poking around. You should expect the inspector, the buyer, and their agent for sure. But you also might see other specialists, maybe for termites or the pool. And sometimes, a buyer even brings along a parent or a friend for a second opinion. It can feel like a bit of a crowd, but just knowing to expect them makes it a lot less surprising.
So, where do you fit into all of this? What's your job on inspection day? Well, it's actually less about doing a bunch of last-minute repairs and a lot more about just setting the stage for a smooth day. Good preparation on your part is strategic. It can stop a tiny little hiccup from turning into a major headache down the road.
On the day of, you really only have 3 main responsibilities, and they're all super important. Number 1, plan to be somewhere else. Go grab a long lunch, run some errands. This gives the inspector and the buyer the space they need to talk openly. Number 2, make sure they can get to everything. And that brings me to number 3, unlock it all. We're talking gates, electrical panels, attic hatches, closets. Because if an inspector can't access something, they can't inspect it, and then they have to write inaccessible on the report, which creates a totally unnecessary panic for the buyer. And to really hammer this point home, let's take a quick look at the most common areas that get blocked.
Okay, so you see what we're showing here? This is what I'm talking about. The attic access, please don't have it blocked with a stack of boxes. The electrical panel needs to be totally clear. And the water heater or the furnace, which are often tucked away in a closet, they need to be easy to get to. Seriously, just clearing these paths is one of the best, most proactive things you can do.
All right, so you've prepped the house, and you've made your plans to be away. What actually happens during the inspection? Let's pull back the curtain on the event itself so you know what's going on in your house.
First off, expect this whole thing to take a while, usually somewhere between 2 and 4 hours. Of course, that really depends on the size, the age, and just the general condition of your home. Your agent will give you a better idea of the time window so you can plan your day around it.
Now, during those few hours, the inspector is going to be, well, thorough. They'll be running faucets, flushing toilets, testing appliances, opening windows, and looking closely at every single major system. And they are going to take a ton of photos. It's just how they document everything for their report, so don't be alarmed. It might feel a little invasive, but I promise you it is all completely standard procedure.
So once the inspector leaves, a new clock starts ticking. The buyer will usually get that super detailed report within about 24 to 48 hours. Then, after they've had a chance to go over it with their agent, they'll submit their official response to you. This all happens within a specific time frame that's laid out in your contract.
Getting that response from the buyer, yeah, it can feel pretty intimidating, but you have to remember, this is not a list of demands. It's the beginning of a conversation, a negotiation. It's actually really common to get some kind of request, even if your home is in amazing shape. This is where the strategy really begins.
So, the buyer might ask for specific repairs, or maybe a credit so they can do the work themselves, or even a price adjustment. But look at your side of the table. You've got options. You can agree to do some or all of what they want. You could offer a credit instead of coordinating the work. Or you could decline and negotiate something different entirely. The main thing to remember is that you absolutely do not have to just say yes to everything.
So, how do you decide what to do? Which path is the best one for you? Well, welcome to the negotiation phase. This is where you and your agent really team up to find that perfect balance between keeping the deal together and protecting your financial interests.
So here's our game plan. Together, we're going to go through every single item the buyer is asking for. We'll figure out what's a reasonable request, like a genuine safety concern or a major system that's not working, and what might be more of a minor cosmetic thing. And from there, we'll put together the absolute best response to move the sale forward and make sure you come out ahead. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. When that inspection report lands in your inbox, try not to see it as some huge obstacle that just popped up. Instead, I want you to look at it for what it really is. It's the blueprint for the final negotiation that's going to get you to the closing table.